still get. Ooh.
Okay. Got it. So we just heard about Bobby's proudest coaching moment, which was amazing. And I have another question. This is, we're going to take a little turn here. We want to hear, somebody particularly wants to hear about your first date with Beverly.
Oh, my first date with Beverly. That was in 1960. And I had no car. And so of all things, we went to the public library downtown and rode the bus.
Okay, well, tell us about it.
Yeah, what'd you do at the library?
Well, we got over there with John Dewey and, got in the card catalog section, I guess. I just watched her because the library and I just, we didn't mix too well. I was wondering where the goals were, but there was none there. So I just followed her, acted like I was reading and just doing whatever she was doing, some kind of research, I guess. I guess I was researching too. At that time, I guess I wasn't in the Boy Scouts. I was in the Girl Scouts. And so I was scouting girls and I seemed to have come upon her. And as I told this story so many times before, she was the best I could get with the car I had at that time. So I didn't have a car. So she was the best that was out there for me.
Oh.
So I guess you knew the Dewey Decimal System.
Oh, I wasn't very good in math, so I didn't know where the decimal went.
We love Beverly.
The best ever.
Love you, Bobby.
Oh.
Okay, now this question, again, we're going to kind of switch gears. This is something that a couple of the guys wanted to, I actually want to know this as well, because I'm kind of handy around the house. How do you measure and make the miter cuts to hide the seam when you're installing crown molding?
Well, you can use the big miters and the lasers on the miters, but the only way to really get it without having to do a lot of caulking is to cope it. I always cope it. Use a coping saw. Cut the miter, but cope the back so when it goes in, it just slides right in there just like a glove.
Okay, I don't know.
Blunt, square cut one and just butt it up and then take the other one and then it will just fit right there.
Hey, Bobby, just
Sure.
for time's sake, what did you say before the coping? You have to do what?
Well, you can square cut one in and push it against the wall and then cope the other end, cut the other one out of 45 and then cope it, cut all the waste of it back off so that you don't see anything but just a little small end and it will just go right up next to it. The secret is getting the little bitty lip on it and you have to be real careful with it, but a good coping saw will do it.
Could you draw that out for us?
Yeah,
Could you do a sketch for us, Bobby?
I could.
Okay, did that answer the guy's question? Yeah.
Taking your time. You've got to take your time, though. Yeah. Measure twice and cut once, and then cope real slow. You can't get in a hurry.
Hey, Kathy, take out my question about did he have a horse or a car first? I don't want him to hear that one.
Okay.
Well, I will say, I'm not telling you that I'm old, but I was in the first driver's ed class at school when they had it at school. I only took a semester because the mule died.
Okay, Bobby, we're going to go back to sports. And this is a question from somebody, and I'm having a little bit of trouble understanding it, but maybe you will. Is the triangle offense still viable in today's unwatchably craptastic NBA? And B, is it possible to redeem it as a metaphor for the inconceivable miracle of salvation in Christ?
Well, once you hold hands, it's nice when you're dating, but once you start kissing, you will not go back to holding hands. So there will be no going back from the triangle. There will be no, with the NBA, there is nothing but get the ball, run, shoot, jump, get out of the way, let them dunk. It's not a sport anymore. It's just, you expect Ringling Brothers to come along later just to advertise it. It's gone that far away. It's when you can run and you can walk and push and hand check. That's not the way Naismith made it up. So it will not come back.
Okay. Good answer. Okay. Bobby, in your opinion, who won the Vietnam War?
Well, there was no winners in the Vietnam War. You know, that's why we have scoreboards in sports. You know, you look to see who won, you know, because the scoreboard will tell you. But the people who won, I guess if they had to be a winner, were those who came home alive and sound and had everything about them. If you didn't come back the way you went, then you lost, as we know that a lot of people lost.
That's a very good point.
I like that analogy.
I do too. Okay, Bobby, if you could have dinner with one of your favorite artists or musicians from your childhood, like your teenage years, who would it be? Where would you go, and what would you eat?
Well, you mean an artist, like a singer or something?
Yeah, any artist, actor, just somebody that you like from growing up that you would.
Well, for I guess for Tom's sake, I'll rule out John Wayne. But years ago, Roy Rogers would be the one. I guess he was so prominent, and he had the beautiful guns and the holsters and the horse and all that stuff, you know, with Trigger. So he would be one that I would love to sit down and talk with, because he seemed to be so classy, and the way he wore his hat with the little circle around the inside of the hat upstairs on there, and his horse and his trigger and all the guns and everything. But I was raised up in a cowboy era. So I went down to the War Memorial Building one time to see Lash LaRue. He was down there with his whip. And then Little Beaver was down there, you know, one time, because they went around. That's the way they made money, going from place to place and sort of things like that. But I'm too old for all this other stuff. So the cowboy era was where I was.
Where, like, if he came back today, I mean, and he said, take me somewhere for lunch, where would you take him?
Where would I take him for lunch?
Yeah.
Well, it's not there now, but I would probably take him to Wendell Smith's, because it's greasy, but it's down to earth. It's real. You see real people in there. You know, some of them may share their teeth, but they're still real people, and it sort of grounds you a little bit. You know what I mean?
When did they close it, Bobby?
They didn't close Wendell Smith's.
Oh, I thought you just said it's closed now. Okay.
No. I don't know. I don't know that I said that, but no, they're not closed.
Where is it?
Oh, it's down off of Charlotte Pike.
Charlotte.
My father goes there 3-4 times a week. Do you think he would order a side of chow chow?
Not Roy Rogers, not unless he got it for Trigger.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I tell my wife all the time when she misbehaves, I said, Beverly, be careful now. You know what Roy Rogers did to Trigger, you know, so you don't want me to stuff you and put you out there, you know, and for everybody to see. So you have to be careful, you know.
Okay. Let me ask you this, because we see this going on in the office a lot, and I don't think a lot of people understand it. What is the process of you and Beth when you do the royalty distribution thing?
The process?
Yeah.
Well, the process is every 6 months. Actually, you do it by days, like 30, 45, 90 days. Royalty checks will go out, but the big one is every 6 months. And we just box them up that needs to be boxed up, but they don't do that anymore, because used to you would put boxes with their checks on it, and they would hold it back, hold this check back. New York wants to hold this check back, and that holds back the whole mailing process. And then they will release it at the very end. Well, you got to get it mailed then, and it's not as easy as they think that it is. But when they give it to you, they're through with it. But we just box everything up every 6 months. We send it out to the people, and we send the check separately now. So nobody cares about their statements. They just want the check. It comes in a number 10 envelope, or it will come into a UPS, and anything over $75,000 goes UPS.
Really?
That's because they did that years ago. And it's like, why did you do that? Well, that's because we just done it that way. I said, why next day air? They said, because that's why we've always done it. I said, so if I send it second day air and save some money, half the price, is that okay? And they said, well, I don't know. So I just said, well, that's what I'm going to do. So I sent them out second day air for those that with checks with $75,000 over it. Matter of fact, I sent one for $125,000, and I forgot his name, but he's right down the street from us. And it was gone for like 30 days or 1 or 2 months. And finally they called and they said, hey, Bobby, do you know where so-and-so's check is? He hadn't gotten his check. I said, what's his name? They told it to me. I said, no, he got it the next day. He's right down the street from us. And I cannot think of his name, but it came to him and he never opened it. And then he said he didn't have it. And I said, whoever his secretary was signed for it. But then they think, well, you didn't send me my check. You didn't send me my check. And then notoriously, there would be some that wanted us to pull out of the thousands. I'm talking thousands of statements. You've seen them, Kathy, back here in this office. Hey,
Yeah.
would you pull so-and-so? Would you pull so-and-so as a courtesy to them? So you go through there and you look, you pull them, leave them at the desk. They're going to pick them up. In 2-3 weeks time, they're still sitting at the desk. So I didn't do it anymore. Now I'll tell you another story. A lady in Kentucky, every year, she wanted her check. She wanted us to send it FedEx. And she would send a FedEx envelope because I said, I don't do FedEx. She would send a FedEx self-addressed envelope in a FedEx envelope to be sent back. And it cost her more to send that than it was that she got for royalty.
That's being penny wise and pound foolish.
Go figure.
Believe it.
Yep.
Gosh, what an idiot.
Yep.
Okay. We got another technical question,
Uh-oh.
kind of along the lines of the crown molding thing. Why is the original Corky toilet tank flapper better than the new fancy versions?
Well, everything, you have to, it's like Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrel, with the pandemic going on now, you couldn't get people to roll the silverware and put all 3 utensils in there. So now they've come out with a little basket, and you've got the napkins in there, and you've got all the silverware in there. If you got a party of 4, you reach over there, and now you've contaminated all the silverware, passing out the silverware. If somebody comes up with a better, or they think is a better idea, the Corky is about as good as you get, but the new inserts have the cylinders. Therefore, you have to use the rings for the cylinders. And the Corky works well. You just got to change them out every 3 years. The red Corkies, not the black commercial kind, the one that the people pick up all the time to replace. No, just go ahead and spend the $6 and get the red Corky.
Okay. Okay, you are about to be stuck on a deserted island. What would you take with you?
Well, she's not here. She's at home. And so she would probably say, Bobby, you better take me. And I would probably, I would probably take one of my larger Swiss knives, because the larger one has all these things that you could do something with, maybe that you couldn't with just something else if you had to survive on an island, I guess. I don't know about unless I was down there with Kenny Chesney on his island, I guess. I just take a change of clothes.
Well, okay, let me ask you this. If I give you some options, will you answer if you're on this island?
I reckon, yeah.
Okay. Would you rather have the Beatles catalog or Hank Williams Sr. catalog to listen to?
Oh,
Watch
it's
this.
easy.
Watch this. You see this? Hands down. Give me Hank.
Okay. Would you rather have golf clubs or a basketball goal?
Well, I would take the golf clubs, because you could just go around, just hit the sand, or hit some things with it, but a basketball goal on an island wouldn't equate well.
Okay. What would you rather, if you had somebody there with you, would you rather it be Roy Rogers or John Wayne?
Oh, no question. John Wayne. Roy Rogers just can ride trigger, but John Wayne, he can do anything.
Okay. Okay. And what would be your favorite book that you would take?
Well, probably The Clown at Second Base, maybe, but favorite book. Oh gosh, that's a hard one. Well, there'd be no reason to have wisdom on an island like that. The wisdom that would come from the Bible and Proverbs, that you could read every day for a month. But I guess it would have to be War and Peace, something that I could just carry one book and I could just read forever.
Okay. Now, if you could only take one snack that you had to eat the whole time, if you say
What?
Vienna sausage, I'm going to flip my lid.
Well, I had beanie weenies today. I was going to have beanie weenies today, but I had something else for lunch today. But if I had one snack, I guess it would be peanut butter, the real peanut butter and crackers, not the other stuff. I love peanut butter.
Okay. Do you remember the first time that you looked something up on the World Wide Web
The first time
and what it was?
I don't remember what it was. I just remember people talking about it and me trying to just look anything up just to figure out that you had to put www something in there, and I never could get the www and the htt and the slashes going the right way. So I pretty well just let that go because I didn't have a computer. So I had to use something that someone had at work that they were showing me. And so it didn't really excite me, but it's exciting now because you can go on there and find anything. I'm talking about anything. You want to know how to put a flapper on? Just YouTube it. They will show you everything. I had to put a regulator motor and a lock motor actuator on my grandson's car. I already knew how to do it because I'd done it, but you can go on there and see how to do every bit of that. But it still doesn't take the hands-on, because you take that window out and you got to know how to do that and you get scared. But if you see them do it, you'll realize, it's like the nursery worker holding the baby with one hand. You think she's going to break her neck or something like that. It is not as fragile as that. But no, me and computers, me, Kathy, we don't. I have my go-to people, my Excel people, my Word people, and then Kathy, you're right around the corner. So I don't need to know that stuff. I'm like Einstein. He doesn't remember anything that he can look up. So why you do that?
We don't have to go back to the Dewey Decimal System. Go to the library for a date.
No, library. I don't even know what that is anymore.
Wikipedia.
Yeah, I don't even know what a date is anymore.
Okay. Let me see if I have anything else. Does anybody want to throw a question out to Bobby?
What's the first movie you saw in a movie theater?
The first movie that I can remember seeing was down in Linden, Tennessee. There was a movie house down there, and it was Red Ryder and Little Beaver. That was the first one I can remember seeing because they were big at that time. But we didn't get to go to the movies that much. But years ago, when I lived in North Nashville, a candy bar wrapper and a nickel would get you in the old State Theater over there on 8th Avenue or Rosa Park now.
Bobby.
Yes.
What's the first thing that you remember looking up on the World Wide Web?
He answered that already.
I don't remember looking up anything specific because I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just trying to look up something. People would say, oh, do this, do that. When people know what they're doing and they just tell you, do this, do that, you've got to slow down because I have to write it down. and go back and step it back out again, because it's like telling somebody to drive and you know how to drive and you're a race car driver and they don't know where the gear shift is. That's why when I give instructions, I try to do this when I was teaching school and coaching, make it so simple that you don't even have any questions to ask.
Anybody else have anything they want to ask?
What's the first album you purchased?
Oh, first album. Oh, He Stopped Loving Her. No, not He Stopped. I'm sorry. Who's the black guy? Ray Charles. What's that song? I love that song.
I Can't Stop Loving You.
Yes, I love that song. That's the first one I bought. It's one of those little round albums, you know. I think
45.
45.
45. Yeah.
First one I ever bought. I didn't have a record player. I bought it for a girl I was going to a birthday party.
Was this before or after the library in Beverly?
No, it was before. It was before all that.
Okay.
There was nobody after Beverly now, Kathy.
How old were you?
Well, Bobby said he was in the Girl Scouts,
Yeah.
scouting
Nobody-
girls. So
Nobody better be after Beverly but me.
anybody
I will
else?
tell you a story. I'll tell you a story. I'm embarrassed to tell it, but I'm going to tell it. Years ago, there was a movie house, and I'm not sure. I don't think it was Belcourt, but it was out in Green Hills. We didn't go. We went to a lot of movies downtown. There's the Paramount, the Tennessean. There's the Knickerbocker that you can enter from both sides. And so that was the only movie places that we went to. But I took her one, I think it was on a Sunday afternoon or something. We went to see this movie. And it was supposed to be a scary movie about spiders and all of this. And it was called Never on Sunday. Has anybody ever heard of that movie? Well, it was supposed to be Black Sunday. I just saw the word Sunday. And we went to this movie and we sat down in this movie, and it is one of those things where they put the words under the bottom and tried to speak it too. And I'm thinking, what in the world is this? And this woman walked through the seashore and they spoke Italian or whatever they were speaking. And somebody gave her bread and somebody gave her meat. Somebody gave her eggs. And it was because she was cooking up something for them as well at various times during the day or evening or something, but never on Sunday. And so she was a prostitute, I guess, or whatever you would call them. And I'm thinking, I'm sitting there and they're telling this stuff. And I'm thinking, I'm taking this girl that I don't know. I know her, but maybe not that well. And I said, Beverly, I think we need to leave. And so we left before I guess she even figured it out. But I never on Sunday, I never will forget that movie. That was sort of sad, but that was a rare, very risque movie. And now today it's,
PG.
you know, yeah, way to go.
Maybe we all need to, for homework, look on Netflix and see if that's available.
Yeah.
G-rated today.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was in a movie. Wait a minute, Burt Reynolds and who's that guitar player? Jerry Reed.
Smokey and the Bandit?
No, W.W. Dixie and the Dance Kings.
Smokey in the, are you talking about
No.
Smokey in the?
No, they made it here in Nashville. It's W.W. Dixie and the Dance Kings, and they're trying to make it in the music business.
You can
And he
Google that. Maya,
he was-
where are you?
I Googled it. WW and the Dixie Dance Kings.
That's it. That was it. My father had an old car and he put his name in there. They were looking for people to be in movies. And he said, Bobby, I'm not going to take off from work. He says, you do it. So I took a day off from work and I just drove the car and I drove it all over the place. And they fed us great, man. I mean, you talking about down there where the Nissan Stadium was, used to be the bus station, Greyhound bus station. They had tractor trailers down there. And they fed you like royalty, and you would just sit in the car until it's time for you to say action, and you drive the car down in front of everybody, and they would film it, and so I drove all over Nashville just waiting, till they said action, and so I was in the movie. And let me tell you something, it was almost a year or so later, because I didn't think anything about it, and I got a check for $20.
So what would that like today be equivalent to? Like $20 then?
Oh, $20. I mean, I could have gone to several movies, for a whole week for that and had popcorn.
Wow. Wow.
The movie's on YouTube. I'm watching it right now.
Oh, nice.
My scene, one of them was driving down in front of the Ryman. They're standing down there on Broad looking up and saying, that's where we're going to play one day. And they start walking towards the Ryman. And then they said, cut. And then after they did that, then all of a sudden you see them standing across the street. And then the cars go down and you got to look real quick if you know what your car was. And all of a sudden, then they walk across the street and go into the Ryman.
Could we see, if we found it, would we be able to see your face?
Oh, no, probably not, because I was on the driver's side and it was across the street.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, you got
Oh.
a check for $20.
Oh, yeah.
That was like big money then.
Well, it was big money to me, but it cost me money because it was so cold that day. I had to keep the car running all day long because I was freezing. And I thought
So
I was
you
gonna
spent a
run
lot
out-
of money on gas.
He
Oh,
had to
yeah.
spend an entire $1 to fill it up.
Well, I was fixing to say 23 cents a gallon, but it's all relative,
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I got a
Bobby,
question.
did you have a TV at your house when you were a little kid?
Oh, no.
How old were you?
First TV I remember, we were in Chattanooga and this boy down the street had the TV. I was in the 5th or 6th grade and he had a TV and we didn't like him, but we had to be nice to him because every afternoon he let us come in there to watch TV and we didn't like him. And they had this screen that they put on the TV. It had multicolors on it, where you could see through it. It was almost like making the black and white into color. And as somebody was standing there looking at you with a facial, you'd be flesh color here. Then when you bent over, you'd be green, red, and blue. And then when you pick back up, it made it look like it was in color. But that was the first TV. I don't really remember. I guess I may have been in high school when we had a TV.
Wow.
BF Myers, $88. They were having an 88 sale. I bought a 19-inch black and white portable TV from BF Myers when we got married.
Isn't BF Myers still around?
Sure is. So am I.
Hey, Bobby, I know you like to sightsee from time to time, go out there and travel around a little bit. What's something you have seen that has just absolutely stopped you in your tracks? It can be in this country or in the world.
Well, I never ever thought I would ever see the Statue of Liberty. And I went up to, took a group there one year and I walked all the way up to the very, very top. It was so bad, they wouldn't let you go up into the torch, but I walked all the way up there where you could see out around the crown. And what was so amazing was as I was walking up and coming back down, which was a long, long walk, you could see the cracks and the holes in the Statue of Liberty. And I forgot what year it was, 74 or something like that. I could be wrong. That's when Lee Iacocca, he took it on to refurbish it. We went in June. He stopped it at the end of June. He started the renovation process in July, and they went in there to redo it and to make it better. And so it was just awesome because I never thought I would be able to see the Statue of Liberty and to realize that and Ellis Island is where everyone came, all the immigrants came in. And when they saw that torch and saw the Statue of Liberty, you can imagine what their heart felt, the journey that was over. So that sounds a little serious, I guess, but at that time it was pretty important to me because I was a war baby and freedom and all that stuff is still important to me.
Agreed.
Awesome.
Anybody else got a question? We still got about 10 minutes.
What was your favorite candy as a kid, like as a 7, 8, 9-year-old? A candy bar, a piece of candy? Or what was your favorite?
It was a Baby Ruth. There was not a lot of candy bars at that time. There weren't, I don't remember Snickers or anything like that, but Baby Ruth was a big, big thing. And Brock candy bar, that was the Bill Brock family, that had the Brock candy bar. He was the representative years ago. Maybe he'd been a senator that beat out the Al Gore. And that was a big candy bar.
Oh, you're
Brock.
talking about Brock, like BRACH, like the Brock
Yeah,
Candy
Yeah,
Company.
yeah, Brock,
Uh,
Bill Brock. who
Wow.
defeated, Al Gore, the senior Al Gore for the Senate seat. It was at that time, that it was the 18-year-old to vote, and it was real popular at that time. And so when you get the 18-year-olds out to vote, it changed the election at that time for him.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that 18-year-olds should be able to vote?
Well, well, you heard the old argument, hey, if I could die for my country, I ought to be able to vote for the president who sends me to war. Well, that's the easy answer. Just say, if you're in the military, you get to vote. But you can't make a blanket decision concerning anything or anybody, because it doesn't work that way. And when you see 18-year-olds to vote, I mean, you should have stayed with me in school for 31 years, and you'll say that kid is going to vote for an elected official, because their minds are so moldable. And so no, they shouldn't. When Bear and I got married, I was 21, and you had to be 21 to get married, to sign papers, to get a loan, to buy cigarettes, to buy alcohol. 21. It worked for years until somebody wanted to get reelected, and they said, hey, let's let these people vote. And then you get the 18-year-old. You got to ask yourself why somebody wants to do something, and then you'll figure out it's a political poem. And people say, I don't want anybody to use me. Yes, you do, because you just allowed them to do that by changing the rules. Everybody wants to change the rules to suit them. And so therefore, 18-year-olds voting, no, you just think about your own self. I think it's nice, but why? Just wait, and then you can make an intelligent decision, because everybody says, oh, I can hardly wait till the debate comes here. If you got to wait till the debate to know who you're going to vote for and what principles you're voting on, you waited too late.
I didn't realize you had to be 21 to get married back then.
Well, you could
Wow.
run off to Ringo, Georgia and get married, but or your parents could sign for you. Yes, I'm sorry, could have signed for you. My brother was signed, but he couldn't join the service. He wanted to join the service, so he went in under the buddy system. And that's where you get a buddy, to go into boot camp with you, so that makes it easy for you to go. He came home, and my mother and daddy cried. Well, my daddy didn't cry. But mother cried, oh, I don't want you to, Jimmy, don't do it. And Jimmy says, I want to. So he went in on the buddy system, took his papers down there. And guess what? His buddy's parents wouldn't sign. So Jimmy ended up going in by himself. So, but it's a maturation point. Yes, I know Audie Murphy was 16 years old when he went into the service. But there's some people that are just wise beyond their years. But age is a relative thing. It doesn't make you this, make you smarter. It doesn't make you that.
I actually, when I was compiling the questions, I found this great quote by David Bowie that says, aging is an extraordinary process where you become the person you always should have been. Would you agree with that?
It sounds like a pretty accurate statement. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he the one that invented the Bowie knife?
No.
The fishing buoy.
That was his brother, Sam.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody else have anything? Because we're
Hey,
coming
Bobby?
up on 5.
Yeah.
What was the color of this car in the movie?
It was black. It was a black.
I'm looking at you right now.
Are you serious?
No way.
Yeah. I mean,
Lee,
I can't see you, but
Yeah. It
well,
was a
Lee,
black-
can you put it on the screen?
no,
Is it-
it's on. Hang on a second.
Okay.
And let me tell
What
you
are we
something.
talking about? I missed it.
Oh, there we go.
Well, I don't see it. I just see Kathy.
Andy, you're so smart.
Get better.
I'm seeing Bobby and Lee.
Me too.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
That's you in
Oh,
that
wait.
car.
And I tell you something else. I tell you what I really wanted. There I go. What I really wanted was the license plate. They put the license plate on the front and rear of the cars because that's what they did back then. And see, back then, the license plates were shaped like the state of Tennessee. And so it was black with white letters. And so I thought, brother, as soon as they tell me I'm through, I'm grabbing that license plate. and they put the license plate on with 2 rubber bands. They put them on each side, to hold the license plate. Well, brother, when that was over with, I don't know where they came from or anything. I jumped out of that car. Those license plates were gone. They had somebody there that was really amazing. They had somebody there for every little thing that was to be done. It was just that well orchestrated.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Kathy, this was the very best idea. And Bobby, we love you so much. You are a true treasure to every single one of us. And this was maybe the greatest Bourbon Thursday we've had yet. Thank you.
You can take maybe out of there.
I love all of y'all. You're so easy to work with. I tell people, I said, they're just the greatest group of people. Now, I don't have a cube next to you, other than you, Kathy, but I love working with all of you because after all, we're all in this together, and we should all be servants. And when you become a servant, then you learn to appreciate those that depend upon you, and you depend upon them. So and here's the thing about the internet. Somebody asked about all this wide world of not sports, but wide world of whatever that HHTPP stuff is. I never have to worry about it. Every time I call somebody, they will say, "Here, Bob, bang, 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 bang." I said, no, Kathy, you've heard me say, no, wait a minute, slow down. Let me write this down. Bobby, you don't have to worry about it. As long as I'm here, you don't have to worry about it. You just call me. And that's so reassuring, that, well, hey, I don't have to remember that. I'll just put something else in my brain besides that. I'll just call them. So.
Nice.
Love you, Bobby.
Hey, well, this
Love
was
you,
a
Bobby.
real surprise. I'm still here at work, and I thought, well, let me see. I don't want to go home and drive and be on Zoom.
Traffic.
So I'll just stay right here.
Yeah. We'll upload it to YouTube so you can show Beverly.
Final question.
Oh,
What's the
listen.
weirdest thing you found in Tom Luderan's office that he thought he took out and he forgot to pull out?
I can't tell you because the DA has it.
All right, Bobby. Thank you. Y'all give Bobby
right.
a big round of applause.
Yeah.
Yes, love you,
All right,
Bobby.
You, Bobby.
Thanks, Bobby.
Thank you, all of y'all. Let me see how I
Have
can
a
get out.
good weekend,
Love ya.
everybody.
Love you, Bobby.
Love you.
Bobby.
See you later.